Good morning. Welcome to Life in the Markets. My name's Tim Russell, and today is Monday, June the 9th. So I want to just take a little bit of time today to address some of the elephants in the room. We've had a lot of very strong news-driven events in the last couple days. Which overshadows actually how constructive and productive last week was. If you followed the S&P 500 last week, we had an actually really strong week. We have the S&P up over 2%. We've got almost every other index as well, whether it's the mid-cap index, the Russell 2000, which represents smaller companies, or even the tech-heavy NASDAQ, all had very positive weeks. Now, with this, you may have heard a lot of news about bonds, and bonds had a very interesting week, but from the beginning until the end, they were really very little changed. So there was a lot of bluster and a lot of news, but not a lot of substantive changes within the broader bond market. The 10-year Treasury remains pretty strong at about 4.5%. We do see some unemployment starting to creep higher. We're watching inflation, which remains elevated and somewhat of a concern. So we'll continue to watch all of these things. But the news has really overshadowed it. And there are a number of different things that are coming up. So first of all, we have the Trump and Elon relationship breakup. And you know what? I have a lot of respect for Elon Musk. I mean, there's not a lot of people who can do the things that he's done and be able to create the companies he's created, salvage the companies he salvaged, and really be a friend to democracy like Elon Musk has been. I know that's a hot take, and certainly not everyone agrees with me, but that's okay. You don't have to. It's my opinion. I'm allowed to share it. But, you know, when I see Elon and Donald Trump going and trading spars, I kind of wonder what's it all about. And at the end of the day, Trump is really excited about his tax bill. He knows it's a compromise. It's not as much as he would like, but it's nowhere near as far as Elon Musk wants. And I've got to admit, number one, I understand the need to deal with political realities. And Donald Trump is trying to work with his constituencies, work with his the people in Congress and the Senate to make sure that we can get actual legislation that will pass and will allow people to continue to be reelected. So I understand that tension, but I also understand Elon Musk's point of view. We are at a very unsustainable debt level. And if we continue to grow like we're growing, if we continue to not cut things out of our spending, we will either within the next couple decades or within the next couple years, the next couple decades, we're going to run into some very difficult times. We have to take our medicine at some point. We have to cut back spending. And honestly, one of the things that we have seen historically, as we do cut back in spending, as we do reduce the tax load, the tax revenues generally increase when you leave money in the pockets of the American people, in the pockets of the American business owner. They take that money and invest it in more profitable and productive ways. So again, I'm pro tax cuts, but we can't do that without also reducing the size of the bloat of our government. And right now, the tax bill, as much as I want to see this bill get passed, because there's some things in there that are really important that I think are going to help a lot of people, as much as I want to see that get passed, I also want to see us to deal with the spending and come to some kind of a come to Jesus moment with our government. So this whole Elon Trump thing, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't scare me. I think it's a lot of bluster. I think the media is making way more out of it than they need to make out of it. But at the end of the day, it points to a reality. There is an absolute tension in the conservative end of the political spectrum where we have to deal with spending. We cannot be the party, and I say we. I guess I'm a Republican. I have no say in all these things. But you know, the conservative people, we can't be the party to say have a balanced budget and criticize the Democrats and then spend like drunken sailors when we're in power. That is not what we're here to do. All right. The next major story is another one that is getting a ton of press all over, and it's all of these ICE riots that are happening in different places. We've seen them in Minneapolis. We've seen them now taking over Los Angeles, and we have Trump sending in the military. We've got Marines. We've got Army National Guard. We've got all kinds of people coming in there to deal with the unrest and the riots, so that ICE can go out and do the job that they're asked to do to remove illegal immigrants from the country. And I understand why that's a hot topic. I understand why a lot of people are very upset with that, but rioting and looting is not the way to deal with it. It's not the way to express yourselves. Frankly, there are elections. If you didn't like what happened, vote. If you didn't like what happened and you're an American citizen, vote. So again, I'm not terribly concerned about all of those things. Here's what I think you need to be aware of coming into this week. You could be sitting there doom scrolling on your phone, watching all of these crazy videos of people doing stupid things. You could be watching the news media that's talking about how the world is burning down, how Trump is burning down American society and destroying all of these things. And you could come with a preset opinion about what's going to drive the markets this week, and you could have a bias that it's just going to be a very bad week for investing, a very bad week for stocks, and there are probably going to be a lot of problems. It's a very interesting, though, as I pulled up my computer this morning and checked the markets are actually all incredibly strong looking. In fact, we're seeing that in the early pre-market movements, there's not just a small, it's like a 2% or 1% jump in the price of every major index. Why is that? Don't they see Los Angeles burning down? Don't they see the denigration of the American society and all of these things? The answer is yes, they do, but they also see the news where we have another major trade talk with China happening in London very shortly. And that is very positive news. They said now that China has had a 5-year low in exports to the United States. That is having a significant impact in the Chinese economy, which gives us an opportunity to pivot the conversation back to getting fair trade policies that are going to help the rest of the world and America all do well and exceed or excel without necessarily allowing the Chinese to steal our intellectual capital or create unfair trade environments. It's a really interesting week. Okay, so let's boil this all down. There's a lot of fear out there right now. There's a lot of people who are telling you that you need to be afraid for your life, for your children, and for your welfare. You're being told that the government's coming after you, that the government wants to steal your rights. Turn off the news. Stop doom scrolling. Go take a walk today. Go outside, smell some flowers, breathe in the fresh air. Everything's going to be okay. This too shall pass. We do not trust in Donald Trump or Elon Musk. We don't trust in our political pundits. We don't trust in our trade experts. We don't trust in our ICE agents or in the rioters in the street. No, we trust in the name of the Lord our God. We can rest this week trusting in Him. All of these things are going to work out. They're all part of His bigger plan. So you can just be free to ignore all the hype and focus on what really matters. Loving your family, serving your community, loving your God. As we look to wrap up our time today, I wanted to give you a very quick update about what's happening right now in the life of the Life Financial Group. As I mentioned last week and the week before, we've got Roy's retirement. His 69th birthday is Wednesday of this week. So if you're in the area, I would encourage you, stop on in, visit the Life Financial Group Wednesday from 11 to 6 or 11 to 7 in the evening, where Roy will be here to visit and to greet with you, and we celebrate his retirement, celebrate his birthday, and enjoy all the good things that God has done through Roy's career and through his work with you, his clients and friends. So if you're around, let us know. We'd love to have you stop in for a quick visit, say hi to Roy, and I know it will be a blessing to him. We also have our book, The Good Steward. I highly encourage you to go out and pick up a copy of The Good Steward today. It's available everywhere good books are sold, Audible, print versions, softback and hardback, and we have a Kindle version as well. So make sure you make that resource available to you, and also pick up a couple copies for the people that you care about. A verse to close us out today comes from Matthew 6:24, and it says this: "No one can serve two masters. You cannot serve God and money." Remember to keep on serving God. The money that He's provided to us is His. We are His stewards. Don't worry about the money. It's God's. He will take care of it. Do what you are responsible to do. Trust God with the rest. Until next time, take care. God bless. Be safe in the markets.
The topics discussed in this podcast are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific investment advice or recommendations. Investing and investment strategies involve risk, including the potential loss of principal. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Securities and advisory services are offered through Genius Wealth Management, member FINRA and SIPC.